All right, so working on this assignment, exercise 23, red, green, and blue. Basically looking through a text document and then trying to pull out the different stuff from. I actually made this video already and then had to stop it halfway through, so I have some of the work already done, but I'm going to try and recreate it for you. So basically what we have here is, this is the RGB values. This is the text field that we're working with. And we want to be able to just basically take out these are RGB values. This is the name of the color. And we want to work through this file, kind of excluding this first line of code, first line of text, and working through the rest. So as with all of these, I want to first take this, and I want to copy it into my environment here. Oh, good. All right, so what I'm going to try and do for this is I'm just going to make a regex that's going to capture the whole thing, and then I want to capture individual groups out of this. So basically what I see to begin with is, I should have copied more in here because I know some of them, this is a better representation of what we got. Let's put this in here. What I can see at the beginning is that there could be spaces, there could not be spaces. So I'm going to say /s, and I'm going to say star. There could be 0 to a whole bunch of spaces in here. After that, though, there should be some decimal value, or some digits. And basically, there could be anywhere between 1 to 3 digits. So I'm going to say digits from 1 to 3. All right, and actually, I feel like I don't know, I feel like I'm not doing the right thing here if I'm going to copy and paste this. I kind of wonder if I couldn't, I don't know, I could do some sort of multiple thing. Anyways, that's fine. I'm going to do this. So now we have all of these. This is all captured, and then I want to capture has to be a bunch of pluses, and then it has to be W white, and then it has to be just everything after that. Okay, so inside here, yeah, so this is like capturing a bunch of blank spaces, 0 or more. I could probably do plus in here because it should at least be 1, but anyways, that's fine. And then I want to start capturing some digits. So I'm going to capture these two. These. And then also over here, I'm going to capture all this white space. All right, that should be looking good. I think I can check this is my list of things that I'm going to be pulling out. I think if I check details and I look for each one, it'll show me what groups I have. So this is looking pretty straightforward to me. I'm going to take this and put this back into my code. I'm always going to make a pattern object, so I don't have to see all that nasty regex stuff in the middle of my code. And then here, let's see. Oh, I want to do a couple things here. I don't want to, it's a really long file, and I don't want to like search through all this, especially as I'm doing my testing. I mean, there are like 700 lines of this. And so I don't really want to look through all of that. I am going to do one thing. All right, so in here, I'm going to do a slightly different looping here. I'm just going to read all the lines of the file, save those in a list, and then I'll go through that list one by one. So I'm going to say with open, and we're going to do our file name, which is going to be file name. We want to do this as a read, and we want to call this, I'm going to call it file. And then I'm going to say, like, contents is equal to file.read lines. I'll do that. And then I'm going to do like, and I'm going to do like print contents, and I'm going to set up I can do a little slice here, which means I only want to read part of it. This slice means this is going to be a list. I'm going to get basically the first 5 values from the 0th index up until the 4th, not including the 5th. So let's see if this at least works. We'll know it works. Okay, one thing I see here is that it's not, it is taking in that first line. So it's mostly working appropriately, but it's got all these little other things in here too. Let's see, so I need to go into here, and I'm going to do file.readline. I think there's a better way of doing this, but this is just going to kind of read and discard that first line. So let's try this again. And yeah, I should be getting from the very first line of text here. All right, now for the interesting part. Oh, but I should be getting, okay, so that's just that's just the contents. Now I actually want to use my regex on this. Maybe I'm going to put this down just for organization's sake. And then let's try and do, let's just try and check this out. I have not totally finished this one lately, so let me try this. Find all, pattern, and then let's do for line in. So I like to, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to say contents, and I'm just going to say like the first, let's say the first 20 lines of it. We want to get that out, pattern, comma, line. And then let's just print answer. Let's see what we get out of that. Run this. Okay, looking pretty good. I see we do have a tuple in there. So let's take this. I'm just going to, like I did in the last one, I'm going to access the 0 element from that. Oh, now we have a tuple. Maybe I'm going to convert this into, I feel like there's a better way. I'm going to look for a better way for doing this, but this is how I'm going to do it. All right. So that looks pretty good. We have these kind of all separated. Now, what does it want as our result here? So the strings in the 4 fields. Okay, so it should return something that looks like this. Okay. I mean, for let's see, what can we do here? Let's say temp. I'm gonna make this to be a list. I'm gonna say it's gonna be answer 0. So that should get me like the first element and make a list out of it. And then I think I could do for values in answer. I'm gonna say starting at 1 because I don't want to include the first index because I already took care of that here. I want to say, let's see, temp. So what do we want? This should be all one string. Okay. So actually, let's do it like this. I'm losing my mind here a little bit. Let's say plus equals T. I feel like I'm not doing this. I'm going to try and run this. You can always skip ahead here too. And let's say value. Let's call this value. And then print temp. Let's just try this out. Hey, that worked pretty well. Yeah, mostly right. Okay, that actually looks pretty good to me. One thing I want to look for. Well, let's see if that works. Nope, not that. Configure, unit test. Oh, I just realized I'm dumb. I was looking only through the first 20 things and should be looking through a lot more than that. So let's delete that. That should fix it. Fix at least some of it. Let's see some other things in here. I was just looking at my old answers. Some of the stuff could be done a little bit better. I actually don't need the spaces here. My regex is mostly right. I could simplify it a little bit. I actually didn't need these spaces out front. I could also say I don't need to specify the number of digits here. I could just say that it has to be more than 1. A couple things in here. I just said that I would go through and like, actually I want to have those parentheses in there. But some stuff I don't need to have. Anyways. So that's a little bit better on the regex. That's not really gonna make a difference. What's going on here? All right. You guys are figuring this out probably quicker than I am, but like I'm not actually returning anything. Yeah, so that's going to be a problem. All right, I also figured out a couple other things I could do better with this while I was thinking about that. In here, let me just do my, I'm like, I don't know, it's not working. Let's see, let's call this results. It's going to be equal to, actually I'm going to do an F string. And then I'm going to say that the format, I don't know what is going on with me. Not thinking this through. I'm going to take this format. paste it in here. And then I know that this should be, like these parts should all be coming from the user. So I can say things like this should be like answer 0, I think. This actually seems like a better result for this. Or if like you guys were looking at this and just thinking like, what are you doing? Getting some simple stuff. My brain is clearly not doing its best today. All right, so I think what do we need to get back? Is this pattern? We're gonna get the whole text, so I think we should be returning. Should return a list of strings, and so we need to. I'm gonna say answer is going to be a list, and then after we get that result, we're gonna say answer.append result. Okay, and then at the end, and we need to actually return answer. Nothing works. Oh boy. I think that is correct. I mean, this is taking forever. Hopefully you've stopped watching by now, but this should be right. Let me take a little more. Oh my god, I already used answer in here. Oh my goodness. Like, oh, what am I doing here? What am I just doing? What is going on here? All right, so call it return value, I guess. Hopefully at some point I won't just like doing too many of these videos maybe. All right, that now looks appropriate. Now if we're gonna run it, and we got all checks. My goodness, what was wrong with me? Oh my god.